Hey everyone, finish watching the next Mystic Force episode, Rock Solid. A monster turns a guy to stone. Alright, enough of that. The Rangers, meanwhile, are at the record shop. Nick and Madison's hinted at romance has pretty much been completely dropped. Nick tells Madison she spends too much time recording on her camera, and their conversation leads Madison to want to try and be more spontaneous. The villain's plot this time is just to send out a monster that can turn people to stone, while Korag takes an army of Styxoids out to just cause general damage, I guess. The Rangers get a call from Udana. They rush out, but Madison isn't there. She's out trying to prove to herself that she can be spontaneous. The Rangers find a crowd of people turned to stone. They're then attacked by Necroli and the new monster. Necroli and the monster then just leave. I hope this isn't another season like Dino Thunder, where the monsters will just randomly leave for no reason. The monster shows up in town and turns Madison to stone. After the monster retreats again, for some reason, the Rangers take Madison to Root Core. Nick doubts Madison's strength, but Vita shows him what her sister was always filming on her camera. She was filming her friends, and Nick learns that she's not as shy or withdrawn as he thought. So now Nick is determined to help Madison. This plot was really dumb. The Rangers split up to take on Korag and the monster. Nick uses a new spell code to unlock a new mode for his Mystic Speeder, a motorcycle. He uses it to fight through Korag's Styxoid army. This battle, I think, is one of the first overly gratuitous instances of Kalish-splosions, a term coined by fans to describe excessive repeated slow-motion explosions. Dino Thunder and SPD also featured frequent explosions in slow-mo, but what separates their pyrotechnics from these is the repeated shots in slow motion. It makes the fight scene drag on far longer than it normally would. Nick defeats the Styxoids and joins the others. He defeats the monster, undoing its spell on Madison, and she returns to normal. Korag revives the monster as a giant with an incantation. Madison joins the others, and they say they've unlocked a new spell code. They can now form the Mystic Titan Megazord. Unlike their Titan forms, they now have a shared cockpit where they're just normal-sized. They defeat the monster for good and go back to the record shop. Madison shows around a guy she met earlier and saved from getting turned to stone. This episode is awkward and clunky, nowhere near as strong as the previous few episodes. The human conflict is forced and doesn't amount to much. It doesn't present Nick in the best light, making him look, as Vita describes him, clueless. It's a really odd choice, considering he was introduced as an altruist. Despite getting some focus, Madison is still a pretty flat character. She's supportive and enthusiastic when it comes to her friends, and that's about all there is to her. Her and Nick's romance is definitely forgotten about by the end of this episode, since she doesn't act interested in Nick anymore, and he doesn't have any reaction to seeing her being friendly with another guy. The monster plot was lame. The bad guys don't even necessarily target the Rangers, just the general population. The Megazord is introduced, and it's fine. I like the witch hat that it appears to have, and the cockpit is cool, though I prefer the Rangers themselves becoming the Zords. The cockpit is chess-themed, but it's all just aesthetic and doesn't actually utilize any chess-themed control or anything. Kalish-splosions make their first major appearance. Explosions are nothing new to Power Rangers, but the specific way they're handled here is where the distinction comes from. Kalish-splosions are named after executive producer of this and some following seasons, Bruce Kalish. I don't know if it was him specifically who wanted the explosions shot this way, but in the end, as executive producer, he was the one who decided it was okay and that they should be a thing throughout his tenure. Phineas doesn't appear in this one. I really wish he could have popped in once or twice. So yeah, a big step down from a promising start. Hopefully the season finds its footing within the next few episodes. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
Now you really count discount.